So I think we should be
Going live?
Yep.
Going live.
All right, and then the question is, can anybody see us?
If you're out there.
If you're out there, say hello.
Hello.
All right.
Welcome you to the live stream we do. Talk Like Yoda Day. It is.
Yeah, it is Talk Like Yoda Day. So if you are watching us today in a live stream, it might be a little bit too much to try and type things like Yoda.
Too much it might be.
Just a warning, I am not feeling really well. I could actually see my face in the live stream, and I'm like, whoa, what's up, swollen face?
Rafi's had a headache.
Yeah, I've got a headache. My daughter used to call it headache. Daddy, I got a headache. And that just stuck forever.
Yeah, it's great to say headache. It helps you not take it so serious. Anyway, he's got a headache, but we love you guys so much. We're live streaming anyway.
Yeah, I'm wondering if anybody's actually getting this.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, there it is. Hey!
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
Yay!
Okay. So, can you see us all right? Are we looking bueno?
Mucho bueno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Also, we have some questions from
Deanne.
Yeah, Deanne pre-prepared. She's got 3 questions for us that we're going to be answering. So.
Deanne's a girl after my own heart. Pre-preparing questions.
Yeah.
I like to write down what I want to ask or say too, because when I get in the moment of something, I'm usually like, I don't know.
Lisa said hi again.
Hi.
So Lisa, are you able to? Yes, you look bueno. Awesome.
Great. Happy Talk Like Yoda Day.
Yep.
Talk like Yoda. Happy Talk
Oh,
Like
my
Yoda Day. We
goodness.
do wish you.
So, in case you didn't know, there's a little bit of a delay between the chat and the time that we get it. I'm not sure why YouTube does that. I think I don't know why they do that. Maybe they do that to help us like be able to go through the questions or something.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah. Well, we have Lisa here. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. If you have any questions for us, you don't have to type them in Talk Like Yoda format. You could just ask them.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could join us for the live stream.
Also, Lisa, I'm interested to know how you were doing on catching up with your orders and stuff. And I know you just moved.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that a lot of things are good and a lot of things are, still good. Just kind of like,
A delicate balance.
A delicate balance, yes.
Yeah. It can be scary. Can be scary. I bet she's handling it like a champion.
Of course she is, Lisa. Mm-hmm. You have no idea how much of an inspiration you are just in being who you are. Mm-hmm. So,
also your artwork is beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
When we were looking at the mailboxes, Clee basically pointed out some that she was like, "This is what we're gonna get."
I have plans for when we move to another place for a custom mailbox from you. I do. I have a few ideas actually. I have to narrow it down.
The key word there is us moving to our new place.
Yeah. Well, who knows when that will happen? But
which we need to figure out how that's gonna happen. Hi, kids.
Hey,
Hi, Deanne. We got your questions.
Yeah.
So we're all prepared for your questions.
That's awesome that you pre-prepared questions. That's exactly what I would do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do you want me to read Deanne's questions and you can answer them?
Yeah, read Deanne's questions. Give me one moment. Uno momento. As you could probably tell from looking at my eyes and at my face, I'm a little
puffy.
What I'm not really sure what's going on. I think maybe I am feeling a little bit fatigued. As you guys know, I've been like worried about things or whatever, and so I think today I woke up and I'm not worried about things. After yesterday, I'm like, yes, I'm good. I've got this. I'm going to face it. And then this morning I woke up and my body was much more relaxed. So I have a feeling like all that tension that I was holding on to Just everything is very sore and
Well, the tension left you, but it left you with like a post-stress recovery period.
post-stress recovery period.
Sorry you have a headache. I'm a sinus sufferer too. I can't do Yoda. Delay is good because I suck at typing. So yes, moving sucks, and yes, all good.
All good. All right, good.
He's an allergy sufferer, and the allergies have been so very epic in Florida.
Yeah,
so
and
very epic.
I don't know that this is allergies though. It might be a little bit. Burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
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 I'm burning the candle because I'm there. So I'm in a position right now where I'm almost like in a transitional state of figuring things out. Like the one thing that I haven't been able to tell not the one thing that I haven't been able to tell anybody, but one of the things that I don't really announce on YouTube is that the starting to do the videos and even doing the Patreon, that it's almost like a next level step in my life. The videos on YouTube and that kind of stuff has always been something that I've wanted to do. But it's been the ability to be able to balance all of those things together, balance my art career, balance our music. I want to have a very like happy artistic type life. And the only reason that I haven't done the YouTubes or really focused on music and focused on growing my art career even bigger than it already is because of insecurities and doubts within myself. So I am facing all of those doubts and all those insecurities head on. But me being who I am, instead of facing them one by one, I just like
tackle it all at once.
Yeah, I grabbed two swords and then pounced into the flames like full strength.
Rafi and I balance each other because he jumps into everything with both feet with zero regard for his own well-being. And I'm a little more calculated. I'll dip a toe in.
Yeah.
So sometimes I try to reel him back in, and sometimes he pushes me in the pool.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably good for both of us. But he's definitely a jumper inner with both feet.
Yeah.
And most of the time that's fun, but like sometimes I'm adding too much, and you guys know on Patreon that there have been little things here and there where I've been struggling with content and really just wrapping my mind around a thing, and what you're experiencing is that what's going on with me. So yeah, I'm good. I don't want anybody to be worried about me. Like, I'm good, and this will pass. This is just when you're carrying that much tension so tightly, then eventually you're going to find a way out, but you're just going to kind of still have that fatigue set in. So I did take a nap today. And naps are great.
And I'm good. I'm not at 100. After the nap, I was like, I could probably sleep for another who knows how long, but I am good. I am like, good.
Excuse me, it's getting near the time of live stream. He was like,
yeah.
Let me see. What I'm down to 70 orders, says Lisa. Lol. 70
Yes. Orders. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to do, she wants to do the mailbox for us.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. I can't wait for that. I was just going to say, I wonder why you feel the need to do it all and all at once. And that is such a good question.
It's not even a need. It's just, I think that it's something that pushes me because back in the day, so what you're seeing is a version of Rafi who loves to put himself out there, is afraid to do things, but will still face his fears and do it. And I spent 12 years working in corporate. I had the right kind of marriage. I had the house with the white picket fence. I had the 2 cars and the good job, and I wasn't happy. I was miserable, and I was doing everything that you were supposed to do in order to be a grown-up and to have the right kind of life, and I wasn't happy on any front. I wasn't married to my best friend.
I love my kids, but instead of viewing them as the gift that they were, I spent a lot of time viewing them as a responsibility and things that children are not. Children are amazing and beautiful and lovely, and instead I saw them as a burden that I had to carry. I worked a job that I hated and only worked there for the money, and there were so many choices and decisions that I made in my life um, that were opposite of the things that I really wanted to do and that I felt like doing. And what I realized was it was because I was afraid to face rejection, or I was afraid that I wasn't good enough. And so I just kind of kept myself small. And so when an opportunity like this comes out where it's like, okay, well, you're afraid to do this, just do it. You only live once, you get to experience this opportunity. I think that that's where all that vigor to just jump in with my barbarian scream and just like, and then afterwards, because at least now, yes, I am tired, I am exhausted, but this will pass. And I know that in order to get to this place where I'm at right now, I had to break through some barriers. So that's why I jump in with both feet.
Always storming the castle.
Yeah.
I think I go through this, and I think a lot of creative people go through this, is like you have more ideas at any given time of things you want to do than like you're able to physically do at one single time. And so then that can even get overwhelming, even though like all the things you want to do are fun and amazing. You
Yeah.
want to do them all at once because you don't want to like lose any of those things. I have to write things down. Like I sat and made a list one day of jewelry things that I want to do this year. And it ended up being a list of like 30 things that I want to do that I don't do yet or don't have in my Etsy shop or whatever, just so I wouldn't forget them, because I was feeling like I needed to get them all done this week so that I could seize the opportunity while the inspiration was hitting.
Yeah.
But it can be too much to actually physically accomplish.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, so I'm wondering if you are also feeling responsible for us or to us. Deanne, I was, and I think that was what that video was about when I was talking about, where we involve money, and then all of a sudden my brain was like, you need to do this and you need to do that. You guys have helped me get over that. So I don't feel responsible to you. And what I realized was that it was almost like the same thing I had done with my kids back when I was, it's hard for a parent to say that they resented their children, but I wouldn't be honestly me if I didn't say that back when I was very miserable, there was a big part of me that resented my kids because I was doing this, the things that I told myself in my mind. I was doing this terrible job because of them. I was in this loveless marriage because of them. I was doing all of these things because of them. And obviously I loved my children, but I didn't even realize that those feelings were there and causing resentment. I don't feel that way anymore. Especially when it comes to my kids, and if something happens in my brain where it's bringing me to that place, I put myself in check. So I remind myself what the truth of the story is. So yes, I did that with you. It's almost like I created my version of responsibility where there's where I felt like I had to do these things because there was money involved. And like I said before, luckily you guys showed me the way out of that. And I was like, no, they don't want anything from me. They just want me, who I am. They're just here to support me. And what it did was the same thing that's happened with my kids. And I'm not calling you my kids. That's kind of weird that I'm making that analogy, but I'm not calling you my kids. But it was the same thing. It was almost like, yes, I get to feel that sense of gratitude and love and joy whenever I interact with you, versus, which is what I want, versus feeling that sense of responsibility. So yeah, thank you for helping me get out of that mindset, because that would have eventually just turned into resentment, and I never ever want that to happen between me and people that I adore.
Yeah, thank you for always being honest with us. Shall I read Dan's questions that we have here?
Yeah, let's see. Naps and love. Yeah, Naps. I totally get the feeling you were going through to do the right thing. You are amazing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Deanne. All right, Deanne, we have your questions, so Clee's going to read them.
I'm going to read them. I'm going to read them one at a time, and then you can answer them, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question 1. Do you have a brand preference of acrylic paint?
So my brand preference is just a certain type of acrylic. Let me grab some acrylics because I don't pay attention to the brand per se, but I do pay attention to where I get the acrylic and when, what it's like.
So many paints in the studio. So many. I'll do a little intermission dance while Rafi gets acrylic paint.
I'll grab my favorites.
Clee doesn't know anything about acrylic paint, but I'm always excited to see. Actually, a lot of times, because there's like a billion things in the studio, I'll be wandering around like looking for where the stapler is, and I'll be like, ooh, what's this? And he's like, get away from that.
So when it comes to acrylic paints, there are obviously all the different types of acrylics that you could get. You guys are familiar with these. These are the hobby acrylic paints. These are not high quality paints. They're also very inexpensive. I use these whenever I'm watering down my acrylics to do a wash because these work really, really well for the wash because they easily mix in with the water versus if you're using a heavier bodied acrylic where it doesn't mix in with the water. So it's not necessarily about the brand or the quality of the acrylic. It is how I'm going to use the acrylic. So cheaper acrylics like this work perfect for a wash, but the cheaper acrylics that are found at Walmart, a lot of those I don't use because those are not good. They're not good at all. It's kind of like their canvases. Their canvases are stretchy and not good.
So those are like Hobby Lobby store type.
Yeah, Anita's all-purpose craft acrylic paint
for washes.
For washes.
It's thin.
Yeah. And then the Master's Touch is one of the brands that I'll use whenever I run out of my other paints. But Master's Touch works pretty well. It's an acrylic. It's heavy-bodied. It's got a little bit of glazing to it, which means that it's slightly transparent. So I'll use that. And then this is by far my favorite of the heavy-bodied acrylics, and it's Utrecht. And I get this from Dick Blick online, but Utrecht is its own company. You could look that up. It's Utrecht, and I love their acrylics. So that's what I use.
They're the ones that make those super saturated colors, right?
Yeah, they do the cadmium colors in Utrecht are really, really awesome.
You can tell they're fancy because they come in a fancy container. And they're like, oh, if you like this fancy color, here's a sample of another fancy color. And you're like, drats, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to order more.
Yeah, they got me with their sample. Anytime you order some kind of paint from Dick Blick, you'll get these little sample things.
They're tempting you. They're like, we know you're going to like this paint. Oh, you've got one.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I keep them all for when I run out of the paint. So they send you this, and then it's got 4 different sample paints, and then their catalog, and they got me.
Clever.
They sent me about 6 of these, and it took about 6 of them for me to actually go ahead and order it. But yeah, it got to the point that I was ordering stuff from Dick Blick just so that I could get the little sample Utrecht thing. And then at that point, I figured I should probably buy it.
That's like how department stores and magazines used to send little perfume samples, and they'd be like, "Don't you want to smell like this?" And you'd be like, "Yeah."
Deanne types faster.
I agree. Those liquid acrylics are great for some things. Folk
Folk art.
art is a favorite. Yeah, folk art. I use folk art. I like their glazing too.
Fun fact, I used to stock folk art paints at Hobby Lobby when I worked there.
Yep. Clee worked
In
at Hobby Lobby many moons ago.
In
though.
the arts and crafts section like 14 years ago
Yeah.
or something. But yeah.
Hey, I never got those, and I've ordered from them. Yeah,
Ooh, I would write them a stern letter.
yeah.
I would.
Tell them You know what? Whatever people say about Dick Blick, I love Dick Blick. I've had orders that were destroyed upon, not even destroyed. I've had some canvases that were ripped, and I called Dick Blick and told them, like, listen, my canvases were ripped. Here's a picture, and they would send me the entire all the canvases that I ordered and have me keep the old ones. They've always taken really good care. So I think if you just call them, say I want one of those samples, they'll send it to you.
Do you think the quality paint makes a huge difference in the final selling price?
No, I don't. A lot of artists will use that as a selling point. They'll talk about the quality of the paint. The only thing that matters is the quality of how long it will last. And even that doesn't matter. For me personally, it's about what the finish is like and the way that the materials are going to intermingle with each other. There's a lot of not miscalculations.
Misconceptions.
There's a lot of misconceptions about the way that paint works. Like, if you use house paints on a painting, a lot of people think that it's not going to last. It's not going to be good. And the fact is that technology in paints, and especially in house paints or in acrylics or even in a lot of oils, has changed so much that the quality of the paint, like, you really have to mess it up for it to be bad quality paint.
And with acrylic paints, right, they're like polymer. They're polymers.
Yeah, they're
right?
polymers.
A polymer is a polymer is a polymer.
Yeah, I mean, you could get a cheaper polymer depending on if there's more pigment than there is polymer.
Oh, yeah, I guess
like
pigment
those
would make
those
a difference.
consistencies are important.
How the color looks when it dries is, I guess, a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, when it comes to the quality of paint, for me personally, there's another factor that plays into it. I use a lot of heavy-bodied mediums that are just clear mediums, and then I use a self-leveling medium, and these are both acrylic mediums. So in a lot of cases, I may be using the acrylic paint itself as just an added pigment to put into these heavy-bodied mediums. So it all depends on how you use the paint and whether or not you created the piece to last for a long time.
Lisa said, probably because you have a YouTube and they know it, lol. I'll tell you said so.
No, I don't get special treatment from them. At least I don't think. Ooh, I should get special treatment.
You should write them a stern letter.
I write them a stern letter.
Okay, second question from Deanne. Do you gesso or underpaint when starting a new painting?
Yes and no. Sometimes there are some paintings that I've just there are some paintings where I've just done charcoal on the raw canvas and then just started painting on there. There are some paintings that I'll put a layer of house paint, of acrylic enamel on there. A flat will work because I like the texture of the actual canvas behind it. And then there are some paintings that I'll want the gesso because I want to do very, very detailed work on the eyes and stuff. And obviously anybody that has worked on pieces that have texture, sometimes the texture will take away the brush stroke and you'll end up having weird things going on. So it all depends. Sometimes I want that rawness in the background because I'm using it, or I want it to come out through the paint. And sometimes I'll need a gessoed piece. But I personally will not gesso a piece because that whole gessoing and then sanding and then gessoing and sanding, that's all prep work. So a lot of times I buy my rolls of canvas with the gesso on there already.
And if you are using raw canvas, you're doing more underpainting than gessoing, right?
Yes.
You're just putting a base layer of flat down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of it I'll prepare the underpainting. Sometimes the underpainting is the texture that you see in the finished piece, and that's it. It's one color layer of all this beautiful texture that will eventually be popping out, but the picking of that underlayer color is very, very important. So there's a lot of, it just depends on the piece and on what I'm feeling and whether or not I have an idea to be like, yes, this is what I'm going to do, or I'm just letting the piece take me.
Lisa said, I like to do some texture with gesso on some.
Yeah.
Neat.
And I've used gesso to do texture. I've used the heavy bodied clear mediums to do texture. I've used plaster of Paris to do texture. I like experimenting with different things to see what happens with the work and how long it'll work. There's a lot of pieces that I have here in the studio that are just never going to see the light of day.
Experiments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Laboratory experiments. Okay. Question 3. Are most of your paintings planned / sketched out, or do you just see where the brush takes you?
Both. Both. I don't. I think one of the reasons that I can't necessarily do tutorials well is because I never know what I'm going to do. So as far as like prepping for it, I have no idea. I may be doing an underpainting and doing a full-on sketch underneath. I do that a lot when I'm doing figures where I want the details of the piece to be all right, to be exactly what I want them to be. But then again, sometimes the texture is what's going to take me into piece, and I'm going to form the figure based on that. Or sometimes I'm going to just do a thick underlayer of acrylic paste, and then I'm going to form that. Me personally is what allows me to experiment and push myself outside of my comfort zone. So yeah, it's much more free. There's not really one way that I do it. I think it depends on what I'm working on and how I'm feeling in that moment.
Yeah, a lot of times Rafi's feeling strongly some kind of way, and he's just trying to capture that feeling however it comes out. And then sometimes I see him like that there's an image in his head that he wants to get on the canvas, and then he's a little more like structured, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
It's not really structured, but it is. Yeah.
I love golden paste. Yes. I love the golden paste. I get the little sample packs. Blick has a sample pack of all the different goldens. They've got the ones with the broken glass and things like that. So
Ooh, that's neat.
yeah, and they're like really cute little packages, which I always adore the little cute looking things. So
it's the packaging.
Yeah. Hey, just realized the Dion questions
are on your paper. How'd you do that?
Oh, she posted on Patreon.
Questions ahead of time questions. Yeah.
Yeah, questions ahead of time questions, and then I printed them out.
You guys are totally welcome to do that anytime before live streaming if you want to print us out questions.
I tried spackling on raw canvas, put on the paint, loved the outcome, so posted to an art group. Holy cow, you would have thought I killed someone. Never do that. What art group? Oops, yeah, I did it anyway.
Experimentation is...
Show off you and your samples. No, there's samples that you gotta order. You have to order the samples.
Rafi has so many samples.
No.
He's so fancy with his samples. Oh, you have some for show?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those little containers.
Yeah, they're these little guys. These little tiny golden guys. So, like, that's regular gel, clear tar gel, and then a coarse pumice gel. And I believe they have like a little 6-pack of these. I'm not gonna go through my golden shelf and see, but yeah, these little sample packs. I think the sample pack full was like $9.27
On Blick?
Yeah.
It's so funny to me what's acceptable as art materials and then like what's like it was tradition to use marble dust that you get at like Home Depot, but that was like a traditional texture material for certain art results. These are very technical terms I'm using.
Yeah.
But like that's acceptable, but like experimenting with other mediums like spackle is like unacceptable.
Yeah, I think you know what, and that's so stupid. Whenever you're dealing with an art group, if they are like if you're trying something new and they do what they did that where they're like, I can't believe that you did that. Da, 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 da. If you love the outcome, then you love the outcome, because here's the deal. So the reason that we put gesso on canvas is because a long time ago, people used to paint on walls. They painted on plaster walls. They painted these big murals. That's where people painted on when they did churches and different things like that. So because they were so used to painting on these walls and that was what they knew how to paint on, we started gessoing canvases because it was way lighter, but it still gave you the same consistency of a wall. We are way beyond using paints that can only stick to a gessoed wall. And art has always been about experimentation. In fact, Da Vinci, The Last Supper, is not doing so well because that all the pigments that were used in that were an experimentation of the kind of pigments and the kind of things that you could do back in the day. And a lot of the acrylics that we use and a lot of the latex paints and the different enamels is due to an experimentation that artists did at a certain time. I forget what her name was. She experimented with latex. She experimented with fiberglass. There are a lot of creations that exist now in art and a lot of techniques that exist now in art because people did things like use spackle or experimented with different things. So
yeah, and before it was common practice, somebody had to be the first brave soul to try it and see what happens. I mean, that's the quintessential thing about art, is using whatever is at your disposal.
Yeah, exactly. Using the materials that are available to you in order to be able to express something that you want to express. There is no formal thing that says that an artist has to be a painter that uses the high quality materials that are given to him by other artists, and you have this standard that you need to that's not the art world. That is the art world for a bunch of really insecure people that maybe have some kind of status that want to keep their status by saying, that's not art. That's not how you do it. You don't do it like that. You have to do it this way because this is the way that your ancestors did it. Like, no. You are an artist. If you want to throw some spackle on some raw canvas, then that's exactly what you should do. Especially if you think it looks awesome, I guarantee you that there will be a bunch of other people that think it looks awesome. In fact, I would love to see what the results were like. Sorry, that was a rant.
No, it's a good rant. Hey, Deanne, I love that spackle on your canvas. Screw them. I've done that, says Lisa.
Yeah. Screw them. Lisa, you could go to Golden and request a sample box. Got one of the samples of each product. Yes, Lisa, do that. Hey, Deanne, I love that spackle. Go ahead. Read it.
Tracy, I finally made it to my first live stream.
Hi, Tracy.
I have nothing to ask. I just like listening while I try to make a decent painting of a cow on a t-shirt.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, hey. Painting of cows.
Painting of cows. Aw, cows are so cute.
I have sample boards from 20 years ago when I was a faux finisher, and I have spackle for texture.
A lot have spackle for texture,
yeah.
And they are still intact.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I knew an artist out in Fort Walton Beach who would do the faux finishes, and he used those same techniques in a lot of his artworks. And he had some beautiful pieces. He had a piece of a golden Buddha, and then you had these like faux finishes for the background. I thought they were absolutely amazing. And so did everybody else that saw it. I could imagine that the only people that would complain about it are the hoity-toity artists that are like, oh, you used faux finish stuff?
I think the people that get really upset about that kind of thing are the ones who have massive amounts of student loan debt, and they're like,
they're trying to
I
justify.
only use the finest materials
Yeah.
so that I don't think about the fact that I'll be paying back my student loans forever, and I'm going to lord it over everyone.
It's interesting because you do, and not to say anything, because I know a lot of artists that are doing very well that went to art school, but I also know a huge amount of artists that are self-taught that are doing very well now as well. I also know a lot of artists that went to art school and have this perception that maybe they learned from their art teachers of what it means to be an artist, and it is standing in their way of actually making it in the art world on their own. They're trying to follow this rule set that was set before them, and with the advent of the internet and with different changes just in the way that you see galleries, like, that's just not, you got to evolve, you got to move on, you got to keep going and growing
and try things. That's a good way to say that.
Yeah. If you really look at my mailboxes, you'll see the faux finisher in me. Yes. Yeah. We love your mailboxes. They're so awesome.
They're great.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Dion. Yeah, look at that. My three heart people that are here.
Yeah, this has been an awesome conversation.
So hopefully I answered those questions.
Or the older ones, older than me even, Push Golden, Matisse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there is no, when it comes to people like that, I think, Dion, you had asked me something about that, like about the snobbish people in the art world, and a lot of people assume that the snobbish people in the art world are just in that, like, 1%, the hoity-toity art market, the art stock market, and in actuality, it is prevalent out there. One of the things that I don't tell a lot of people is that when I was in one of the galleries downtown here, and it was a co-op gallery, and originally I joined the co-op gallery because I thought to myself, like, oh, you know what, I'm going to get to meet these artists, and a lot of these artists are older than I am, and they'll be able to guide me, and this is going to be a benefit to me. So I was excited about joining the gallery. Soon after I joined the gallery, I had my wall up. The first comment that I got on my artwork was that, your hanging mechanism for your paintings is subpar. And my thought was like, what? I mean, it works. Basically what I do, and I'll show you guys, because this will be something that you'll be able to use.
It's a very secure way to hang paintings. If anything, I'd go for sturdy over, like, fancy on the back of a painting.
Yeah, so for my paintings, the way that I finish them, and with the bigger ones, I will use like a screw and a washer on there. But essentially what I do is I have hanging wire, and I have a industrial stapler, and I will staple the hanging wire, wrap it, and then staple on top of that to secure it. So, and this is an industrial stapler where the staples are about 3/4 of an inch deep. So they get in there, and then I'll hammer it in the rest of the way. This is not going anywhere, right? Takes me a few seconds to get the mounting on the painting, and they are ready to hang. And if the person that buys the painting wants to put a frame on there or put their own mounting, then it's not that big of a deal. These staples could be pulled out with some leverage, and they're able to do what they want to do. And I didn't spend a whole bunch of money buying a mounting system for a painting that chances are it was going to go. That's my thought. I am more focused. I am more focused on the front of the painting and the way that the art looks and feels than the actual mounting on the back. As long as it is safe and people will be able to mount it on their wall, that's all I'm concerned with.
But the gallery was like, it's subpar.
Yeah, it's subpar. There's no way. I would never let that leave my house. And I remember my response to them was, so you wouldn't let that leave your house, so you're going to spend all this time on the back of the painting, and you are going to charge your customer additional money because of the mounting on the painting. You're going to be really, really proud about the mounting on the painting. So when you're showing this piece to this person, yes, you're going to talk about the art, but you are going to make it a point to show the mounting of the painting. Well, guess what? I don't talk about the mounting of the painting. I just talk about the art. I think people at that gallery eventually started to get very annoyed with me because I didn't buy into...
Some of them loved you.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were like, tell us what you think, Rafi. We want to hear it. Some of them were like, I never.
Yeah, I never. Yeah.
Deanne said, wow, snotty galleries. Rafi, the small gallery that wants to work with me are very down home. Rural homies, lol.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I've seen the wire staples and it's freaking awesome. Again, screw them, I have to say. I do use the hook mostly and a little eye hook on tiny paintings. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's secure. That's like the back of the painting has one job.
To hold the painting up on the wall. Now, if what I'm doing fails at that job, then I need to reconsider what it is that I'm doing.
Problem.
Yeah, then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I think on this painting you could see this is just a wire.
But then he also has like the heavy duty, what is it called? Picture hanging wire, I guess.
What I'm going to show. Yeah, it's the picture hanging wire, and I'm not sure, but if you look these up, they're called Soft Strand.
That's the brand.
Yeah, Soft Strand, and then you've got the different. This is a number 6, which is very thick, and then this is a number 4, which is what I use mostly. That holds about 25 to 50 pounds. But it's definitely something worth looking for. They're called Super Soft Strand, and you could get these thick rolls. Where did we get these? On Amazon?
They have them in like 4 or 5 sizes on Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, I have 3 sizes here. I've got the really, really
super
duper thick.
Oh yeah, that's burly. I don't know if you can see how burly that is. It's pretty serious. It will hold 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
And the reason I'm showing you that is because I'm very excited because, I get to staple those to the back of the paintings. So yeah. Hey Dion, can I ask which art group you post in?
And then she said D-ring, I meant. D-hook.
Oh, D-hook. I like D-hook better. I'm going to call it a D-hook. Arg. All right, honey, why don't you tell them about your week and how it's been going?
This week's been kind of a blur. Real busy weekend at the market. It's transitioning from like lovely springtime to soul-crushing heat here.
Yeah.
So it's getting to the time where I'm looking around at the Palafox market on Saturday and I'm like, this is about to turn from a market into a vendor zoo exhibit. And what I mean by vendor zoo exhibit is that instead of shopping the booths, people just come by and look at us.
Yeah.
Like we're on exhibit.
Yeah.
And that's not the most fun. So I think I'm going to reel it back a little for the hot months.
I think you should tell them what ended up happening with the market manager and how you handled that. I am so proud of this woman. She took care of her stuff. She did it in the most loving way possible, and yet still completely empowered, completely stood her ground. Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, so not this past weekend, but the weekend before, not that that really matters. was the week following the catastrophic raining on the things and my diva moments. And the market manager came by to see what was going on and see how everyone was doing. And she said, I think I said something like that I hadn't accomplished much. I had spent all week doing damage control for my displays. And she said, "You looked so sad last weekend." And she said, "Don't you have an evac plan?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I just did not execute said evac plan during the storm. And actually, that's kind of because I lost my cool last weekend. And then I said, and that's kind of because I'm having some less than warm and fuzzy feelings and sort of icky feelings about the market policies that are happening, because I feel like I don't have clarity, and I'm not trying to change the policies, but I just want to try to understand why some of them are the way they are. Some of them feel a little like a double standard. Some of them feel a little alienating. Some of them feel like they're creating an us versus them situation between market management and artists. And she actually sat down in the grass next to me and we talked about it for about an hour. And I told her all the different things I was feeling, and she explained to me why things were in place the way they were. Some of the things she didn't even agree with, and some of the things needed to be a certain way for pretty good reasons, actually, that once I got clarity on, I was no longer upset about. It was a really good conversation. I didn't sugarcoat anything. I didn't keep anything inside. I addressed every single policy change and issue and explained how I was feeling, and she listened and addressed everything back. So it was actually a very empowering conversation that probably would have happened eventually, but maybe would have been like dragged out, or maybe would have taken a lot longer to get around to if I hadn't gotten rained on that weekend.
I think the fact that like you put yourself in a position where you were either going to stand up for yourself and speak your mind, because one of the conversations that we had, obviously off camera several times, was when something like that is going on, where you're interacting with a person that is maybe making you feel a little less than, it is very, very important to always speak your mind. And it doesn't mean that you have to yell at them. It just means you kind of put your foot down and you say, no, we're going to talk about this, because I don't know where you're coming from. You don't know where I'm coming from. Let's get this cleared out. And it doesn't mean that things will be clear. It just means that at least you get what's going on in here out into the open, and you could really for sure know where this person stands. Either A, they are a butthole and you get to interact with them and understand, yes, they are indeed a butthole, or you realize that, you know what, I had the wrong impression about this person.
Yeah, and going into it, I had prepared myself for either outcome. Like, I might walk away from this conversation feeling like, oh, they're a bunch of buttholes that run this thing.
Yeah.
And maybe I need to rethink my involvement, or I would walk away with clarity. And I count myself as fortunate in this instance that it was a very productive conversation. But I also count myself as like, yay, go me, because I was prepared to do whatever necessary actions if it came down to everyone's just a butthole.
Yeah. We have a different way of dealing with things like that. Like, I'm me, and I even though I know that there's a portion of it that's egotistical, I have this idea that people are intimidated by my sense of confidence, which is hilarious to me because I am definitely not a confident person. But when I go into an interaction with somebody, I understand that whatever words come out of my mouth or whatever words come out of their mouth, they can't necessarily do anything to me. So I'm not afraid of them, and I kind of assume that they're kind of afraid of me in what I'm doing. And it's one of the things I told you about the market manager, was that she was probably afraid of us. And she said
Yeah,
as
she.
much.
Well, the word on the street, if you will, was that we're kind of the OGs at the market, and and don't mess with us.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I'm not special. I mean, I'm special,
Yeah.
but I'm not like requesting green
See, and
M&Ms.
that's the difference right there, because she's like, I'm not, and I'm like, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yes, that's true. You shouldn't mess with me.
Yeah.
I'm a real nice girl.
Wow, Clee, that is huge. Very awesome, says Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'll bet the manager learned a lot as well. They
She
come
did.
from such a different direction about the same thing. I am proud of you too.
Thank you,
Aw.
Deanne. Yeah, she came away from the meeting feeling really good also, and like feeling like she knew me on a level that
Yeah.
she had been wanting to, but I think she was a little afraid
Yeah,
on the approach.
I'm sure she was. I mean, it's intimidating. You hear a story. I mean, I don't necessarily do the market anymore. I am a part of the market because I take Clee in the mornings and help her set up, and then I go and pick her up in the afternoons, and she in return watches my prints that I take out there.
I
but-
sell them. I don't just watch them. I also sell them.
Mostly
for you.
watches them because there's not really many sales of my prints, which easily could translate into like everybody hates my art.
No, they really like
No,
it a
I
whole
know they
lot.
like it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention something before we let you guys go and I wanted to show you because I didn't get the chance to show you. Look at the stuff that Dion posted.
That's beautiful.
Uh-huh. Look at that.
I didn't know that was on there. That's gorgeous. I'll go where I can see bigger images too, not just on
Yep.
you. Oh, that's
Isn't that gorgeous?
Really beautiful.
Dion, all of these pieces that you posted on Discord, amazing.
Gorgeous work.
Amazing. Look at that. Look at that.
That is so lush and vibrant.
Chase commented on there. He was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing! What kind of use?" And so we're gonna have to go on there and say something.
Yeah, I need to get on there and see a bigger version of that.
Those paintings are amazing.
Those are really beautiful. Holy cats.
They should be afraid of us all.
That's the secret, not secret truth. Yes.
Yes, really. Yes, really. They are amazing.
Yeah, really amazing. I don't know if I could pick a favorite because I like them all for really different reasons.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
Beautiful use of color.
I
and
love that,
lines.
man. You guys are so freaking talented.
I think it's so
so
cool.
talented.
We have this tribe family that are all so good at their various things.
Yeah.
Things that I don't know anything about that they're real good at, and I just appreciate it and get to hear like your experiences.
Yeah, because I mean, Lisa, when we were going on there, so we looked at the mailboxes, and the mailboxes are just one of the many artistic things that you do. But in my early days, I was approached by somebody to paint a mailbox. He wanted to do a gift for his mom. And, originally I was like, well, what do you use? What do you paint? So, like, I found the right paints to paint it, which was, like, the outdoor acrylic enamels. And it was not easy. I was like, how am I going to make this look? I did this, like, rainbow thing with these shapes to it. I can't even remember what it looked like.
I don't remember that at all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I remember.
I kind of have a vague recollection, but I can't like picture it.
It was the same people that bought the piece from me at the flea market, the first and only crucifix piece, like the cross, the abstract cross that I did.
Kind of remember that too.
Yeah, that they never paid me for,
Oh,
ironically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rafi, I want you to know, by the way, because of you, I have gotten up the courage to post some of my canvas in art groups just to get used to comments.
Oh, yes. That's awesome.
Congratulations on being a brave
Yes.
human. That's awesome.
Yes. And Lisa, if any of your canvas pieces and stuff, I know that you're still figuring out things like Discord and different things like that, but feel free to post them on there.
And if you need help, we could do a one-on-one tutorial thing to do that.
For Discord postings.
Hey, I want to see Dion's work too. Yes, Dion's work is on Discord. Now I'm pulling it up on the phone, but mostly I look at Discord on the computer, but there is a phone app for Discord.
The computer app seems easier to use, though, doesn't it?
And on the left side of the screen, there are the hashtag channels. So there's hashtag instructions, hashtag let's chat today. That's where we would talk on Discord. And then hashtag share your art. And that's where all of you guys could share your art on Discord.
Discord's cool. I like it. I have to remember to open Discord more when we're home in the studio.
Yeah, and that's the plan. Moving forward with Discord, what we're going to do is just get in the habit of just opening it up in the studio, because I actually have it set up that whenever you guys type something, my computer talks in this weird computer voice.
It's like, Tris Winchester said, I just got on here and started.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun because we'll be in here painting and working on art, and out of nowhere their computer will be like, Dion has posted a painting. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's neat. We're like, thank you, robot voice. All right, we probably should wrap up the live stream.
Yes.
Post your cow. Yeah, do post your cow.
Yes, post your cow. I want to see your cow, Tracy.
Lisa said, I don't use those outdoor enamels. I use Liquitex.
Liquitex Basics.
On my mailbox.
Yes.
Okay, I will try Discord.
Yeah, the Liquitex Basics are better back when this is essentially like maybe 2 months after I started showing my stuff. So I was a wreck. I was an absolute wreck.
You guys, there are some horror stories of commissions that Rafi took. One of which, I was like, don't cry. It's okay. He looked like he was going to burst into tears. Remember the Michigan State golf cart cover?
Oh, God.
Stories that we'll share another time, but
yeah,
experiments that went awry.
There is a reason why I am very, very much pushing just create what you want to create, because I've tried it all. And none of it ever got me anywhere. Only my original creations are what has gotten me somewhere.
But it's good you tried those things, because then you had the experience of oh.
Yeah, I could speak from experience. No, don't
I'll
do it.
I'll never do that.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
or only do that if that's your thing. Yeah.
And Rust-Oleum Clear Coat the crap out of them. Yes. All of my outdoor stuff right now, any of the paintings that I use, that I create for our outdoor, that's pretty much where I go. I'll have to use the Liquitex Basics more often. I do buy them. Yeah, I definitely need to try that. Thank you.
And with that, I think we'll call it a wrap.
Yes.
It's been about an hour.
Yes. Lodi, you kids have had me learn more technology, but it's cool. Yes, I'm learning the technology too.
Yeah,
so.
All of us. A little secret is that all of our friends joke that I'm a 95-year-old lady in a 35-year-old lady's body, because me and technology, I'm slow on the uptake. I will admit that. But I'm enjoying all the things like Discord.
Tracy, we'll see. This one's the first one that looks halfway decent. Well, I can't wait to see Tracy.
Yeah,
that'd be
too.
Awesome. No, don't go.
I'm glad you guys could join us.
Yeah, I am too. This was so nice because it was, it wasn't, don't get me wrong. I enjoy when we do the live stream. We'll be doing a live stream on YouTube tomorrow, but it's usually a little bit overwhelming for me because it's so many people are on there.
Yeah,
this was really, really nice.
It's nice to have just like an intimate chat.
Yeah.
With a few of us. Yeah, the main live stream can be a little bit like,
Yeah, it's a lot of like, let me look at.
It's real exciting, and an hour goes by in like 5 minutes. But
it is. It's its own thing. It's its own thing. This is something else, and I love it. I love it. I love you guys. You guys are amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
you guys are amazing. I love you too. And with that, I guess we're signing off.
We are signing off. I love you guys.
Happy evening to you.
Happy evening to you.
And we'll talk all the time.
Yeah, I am going to go recover fully, and I should be 100% very, very soon. Going to have some soup. And some Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. So much going on Game of Thrones.
Adios, you guys.
Good
love
night,
you.
guys.
Always